What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with another anime score reaction, and we're going to listen to another tune from the A Certain Scientific Railgun series, and specifically, I wanted to choose a track from the first season, because now that I've finished watching Shangri-La over on my Patreon, A Certain Scientific Railgun is coming next, and I'm very excited about that. Now, there was a tune I had in my head from the third season, or A Certain Scientific Railgun T, that I think is absolutely fantastic. So when we come back next time, I'll probably react to that. But given that this watch-along series is about to kick off on my Patreon, I decided to do a tune from the first season. And in fact, as I think I mentioned before, for the first two seasons, A Certain Scientific Railgun and A Certain Scientific Railgun S, there's actually two soundtracks for both seasons. Season 3, or T, it only has one soundtrack, and as I've also mentioned, they're currently in the process of producing, and I think about to release, the fourth and final season for A Certain Scientific Railgun in Japan, meaning we here in the States or in countries outside Japan probably won't get an international release for another, 6-8 months, maybe a year after that. So nevertheless, there are 3 seasons that we'll be going through on my Patreon. I'm very excited about it. Michaela has seen the show before. I'm looking forward to rewatching it with you, and also to anyone else who may be following along. And indeed, as I've mentioned, there's a few people on my Patreon who've joined for either my anime watch-alongs or my J-drama watch-alongs, and who are not commenting, some of whom's names are written in kanji, suggesting that, maybe they just don't write in English. Either way, I'm hoping people join for the watch-along of A Certain Scientific Railgun, because it's a really great show. Action, sci-fi, slice of life, sweet moments, dramatic, emotional moments, it's got everything. So we're going to listen to a tune called High Speed, which incidentally is the menu music for like the first half of Season 1. You also hear it in a number of in-episode scenes in Season 1, and it is very much overtly a psytrance tune. So people know my channel, you'll be aware I like all different kinds of electronic rave music, psytrance being one of those genres. And yeah, so it's got the rolling bass line of psytrance, it's got that kind of punchy kick drum that you get in psytrance. It does have some acid work, which again, you get in a lot of psytrance. And like some psytrance, especially like early 2000s, early to mid 2000s psytrance, there's some guitar in there. So yeah, like there's a lot of tracks from Tip World, which is a sub-label or a period in the history of the Tip label run by Raja Ram. So yeah, there was a period in the mid-2000s where it was going under the name Tip World, and there's a lot of tracks from that label at that time which are, driving psytrance, but with, really electric guitar lines. So this falls into that vein. So let's give it a listen. This is from series composer, once again, Iuchi Maiko. The track is called High Speed, and it's from the second soundtrack to Season 1 of A Certain Scientific Railgun, and indeed the second soundtrack for Season 1 is given the title Moment. So here we go, by Iuchi Maiko from A Certain Scientific Railgun, Season 1, Soundtrack 2. It's a tune called High Speed. good. It honestly could be a tune from Save the Robot or 1200 Micrograms or Alien versus the Cat. Artists who defined the sound of that tip world era of psytrance. It just really has all those elements, the rolling bass line, the punchy kick drum, the little acid squiggles, right down to an element like in terms of the structure of the track, which I didn't mention in the intro. A lot of psytrance more generally, and from that era in particular, at the end of a measure it'll have a little 4-beat dead pause, like a, everything kind of like comes out of the track and then it drops back in, and there's a moment like that here. So I also love those syncopated like psy break sections with kind of the wicked electric dissonance before it then rolls back into the 4/4 beat. So yeah, it's a really top tune, and if you do follow the watch along we're going to do on Patreon, you'll hear that right away, because again, it's the menu music for the first couple discs of season 1, and you also hear it in some of the episodes. Now, to be fair, you don't ever hear it completely unabridged like that. What was it, like 3.5, 4 minutes, something like that? No, these files don't say in the metadata, excuse me, but yeah, I think that was roughly like maybe 4 minutes, 3.5 anyway. And I don't think there's any episode where you hear the entire track unadulterated from beginning to end, but that's one of the great things about soundtracks to shows and movies, where you get the full piece and then you can think of, how they've used it, using only a certain part of it, or, using one particular section of it more regularly than other moments. So, yeah, but it's a really top tune, absolutely enjoy it, in part because it's just from a great show and it reminds me of scenes from the show, but also because I like psytrance. So, very, very cool. Let me know what you think, and I will see you for the Certain Scientific Railgun watch-along soon. Peace.